Hey fellow drone enthusiasts, and of course a shout out to my friends at the Drone Seekers. Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I'm going to, we finally got some reasonable weather. The wind has died down just a little bit. It's a blue sky day, nice blue sunny day. In the mid 40s Fahrenheit. The wind, according to UAV forecast, 4 miles an hour with 7 mile an hour gusts. So I think that's within a reasonable parameter for us to try out the little Zino today and see how the new firmware is working, and if the flight controls have been improved. So the other wild card that I've got going today is I came out to Heroes Park here in Meridian, and it looks like the grounds crew is doing some mowing, and they're out on the perimeter now. So I walked out in the middle of the field, and hopefully I can get this done before they start mowing this part of it. But in any case, let's get this thing going. Let's check the famous Hubsan drop on launch. We'll do a manual launch off the landing pad behind me here, and then we'll test it and see how close it comes to landing. Although the Zino has been historically pretty good at that. It lands within a meter or less of where it took off. But mostly I'd like to look at the flight characteristics to see if we get that sink upon turning left, the rise upon turning right, and then how sensitive the controls are. One of the issues that I continually have is being able to yaw smoothly with the aircraft. Oh, the other thing is, you know, the aircraft kind of crab walks. It vectors forward. But it does it with the nose of the aircraft at a little bit of an angle. It's especially noticeable in the automated flight modes, return to home, etc. But even when you're manually flying it, it's hard to get the drone to just fly straight. In fact, I've never been able to do it. It always flies at a little bit of an angle. So anyway, let's check that, see if they've improved some of that stuff on the new flight controls. The last test we did, we know that they have continually improved the camera, so I'm happy about that. Let's try the rest of this stuff out and see what we can do. Okay, motor locked and we're connected, so I'm going to go in and do the GPS binding. Says we've got good accuracy. I'm going to look real quick at the Wi-Fi channels. Might as well. So yeah, looks like we're on channel 165. So I'm just going to leave that there. Looks like we're good. There is some interference on the surrounding channels, as you can see there. A little gust of wind just came up here, so that's kind of interesting. So the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to get the aircraft up. We're going to go out a little ways. We're going to do a return to home, make sure that it knows where its home is. Then I want to start recording. Well, I took a picture just then. I always forget and do that. So switch it to video mode, start recording, and we can kind of, I'll try and leave the recording on so that we can see how long we get a flight we get. We'll run it down to 25% battery or so, maybe a little bit less. One of the complaints about this new firmware upgrade is people have claimed that it reduces the flight time. So we'll see. We're taking off. And there we go. You saw that on camera, the famous Hubsan drop. So that still does exist, and at the time that we took off, the winds were very calm, so that was not a wind related issue as I've seen at other times. Now you can see that it's risen. I haven't touched the controls the whole time since I hit that, and you see it, you know, moving around a little bit. So that's typical of this drone. So anyway, let's get it up and out a little ways. I'm going to try fly it around just a little. Do a little figure 8 here. Okay, we're out far enough now. Let's try a return to home, and let's make sure that the drone knows where home is. So we're going to return to the takeoff point. It gives you the option here to do control device location or land in place. We're going to return to takeoff point. So it instantly took that command, and it's flipping around. Let me bring the camera down a little bit. One of the cool things about this upgrade was setting us up so that we could change the sensitivity of the gimbal roll on the controller, and I've got mine, I think, set about 20 or 25%. So I'm up above me. We just got a disconnect. So that is very typical of when a Wi-Fi drone is directly above you. So that's not something I'm holding against this little bird. Let's let it come down here a little ways. Yeah, it's coming down. Well, you know what I'm going to do, guys? I just kind of made a command decision here. I'm going to let it land, and let's see how close it lands to its takeoff spot. It looks to me like it's going to be pretty close. So look at that. I suppose I should have picked up the camera there. So there, that was a very gentle landing, and it is, as you can see there in the picture, it is about roughly 3 feet or a meter away from the landing pad. Say about that is, for a drone with no optical flow, no sonic sensors or anything, that's pretty darn good to get that close, and I can say that this Hubsan does that consistently. So let's get it up in the air again. We can take another look and check out the Hubsan drop one more time. So there she goes. Went a little bit right, and then yeah, there's that drop again. So I don't know, I'm not quite sure why that's not something that Hubsan can get their arms around with these flight control firmware updates, but evidently it's a deal. So what we want to check now is turning right and left. So we've had that GoPro out there going for a while. So let's move it over here. See if we can center it a little bit. And by the way, you saw it raise a little bit. I didn't. I was just going right and left. I wasn't raising the drone, so that's kind of interesting. So anyway, we're going to start off with a left-hand turn here, and let's see if we get the sync. So full throttle forward and left. Maybe a little bit. So I'm flying in a circle here, as you can see. Yeah, we're still getting a little sync. So let's try that again, just for the fun of it. So the wind caught it there. You saw that thing pop to my right here. That was strictly the wind catching it there. We got a little gust coming up, and I'm having to correct it a little bit to keep it coming back. So anyway, here we go. We're looking right at the GoPro. Let's go full forward, and then I'm going to try and do I kind of did a hard left there. I'm going to try and do it a little bit easier this time. So guys, I'm going to say, you know, it sunk a little bit, but I don't think it was that bad. Let's try that again. So you can see the drone has dropped a little bit. Now it's rising. That's typical of the Hubsan. Let's center it on the camera here a little bit more. And yeah, let's try it one more time. I'm going to try even more gentle. There again, that says something about the yaw sticks on this. I really, and that may be me as a pilot, but I struggle to get smooth movements with the yaw. So here we go. Let's turn left. That wasn't bad. I mean, I can say that it probably sunk a little bit. Okay, let's drop a little bit of altitude here. Okay, so now let's try that right turn and see if it rises. Like I said, I think it looks to me, if it sank any on that left turn, it was negligible. It wasn't much. So let's try a right turn and let's see what we can do. I'm dropping the altitude down a little bit here. Okay, full forward, and then we're going to try a right turn. Boy, there again, I turned sharper than I wanted to. Okay, I'm going to start with a little more altitude this time. Okay, so and I'm going to see if I can do an easier right turn. I hit that one pretty sharp, so let me see if I can do it a little easier. So full forward, then right. Well, that looks pretty good. I'm telling you, it held its altitude very well. Yeah, so I'm going to call this a success, guys. We'll do some more testing here. We'll back it up here just a little bit. So, if I've noticed anything, it's that upon acceleration, it appears to sink a little bit. So let's do that right now. We're just going to go straight towards the camera and see if it sinks. Now that was true. Had I held the throttle forward, I would have dug right into the ground there. If I hadn't let off, it would have gone into the ground. So let's try it in reverse. Yeah, same thing in reverse. Look, in fact, we just hit the ground there. So that's probably a bigger issue than anything, is just throttle application, changing the height. Okay, we got a little wind gust now, so I'm not going to do anything here for a second. Let's let that wind gust pass. And there again, you can see in the wind, you get that little bit of circular motion. Anytime you get a wind, that is something that I've seen with this drone, is that, I don't know if it's fighting the wind or what it is, but it definitely, you get a little of that circular motion. Wow, I almost ran into myself there. That's the other thing that I'm used to. DJI, they'll really put on the brakes. This thing won't, is not quite that good. Trying to get it closer to the camera here, but it's, I'm a little nervous now. Okay, there we go. So let's get it. We got it right in front of the camera here. I'm going to go throttle full forward and let's see what it does. And it's sinking. I'm telling you, had I kept the throttle on there, it would have augered right into the ground. I'm going to get a little altitude and come back here. So whenever you get this close to this drone, it's a little dangerous. Let's get it up in the picture here. Okay, so we're going to go forward and left on this one. And so what I'm seeing here is anytime you hit the throttle, it seems to drop. So it's dropping there a little bit and then it picks back up. And look at it sink. So I let off the throttle there and you saw that sink. So my hands were completely off the controls as it dropped there. So that's kind of interesting behavior. So here's what I'm going to say. I suspect that this is just part of what we're going to have to deal with this drone. And if you know about it and you take it into consideration, I think it's something that you can cope with. So I'm going to back it up just a tad here. See if I can get it close to us, and it keeps pushing back. Yeah, we had a little gust of wind come up. Okay, guys, we are going to go forward and right on this one, and this is where people have seen it rise a little bit. So full throttle forward and then a right turn, and it looks like it rose a little, but I'm not going to say significantly. Now at full throttle it's diving, so I had to give it throttle there to keep it from diving into the ground. So if I got enough courage here, I'm going to try and head straight for the GoPro and do a turn here. Let's see if I can do that. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I'm that good of a pilot, but we'll try it here. So at full throttle, I'm watching it sink. And had I not let off the throttle, and look at it rise. I'm letting off the throttle because I had my hands completely off the throttles, and it's rising right now. It's continually going up. As you can see on the screen, look at the altitude we're gaining, and my hands are completely off the throttle. We're at we're at 34 meters. Oh, so it's in return mode. So, oh, it hit. That's what happened. Holy cow! Sorry, guys. So we got to a battery level there that it went into RTH, and I don't know if I just didn't know it on the screen or what, but that scared the hell out of me. It just started rising. It's coming down now, so let's see how close it gets. So what it did, that was perfectly fine. The drone went into RTH because of low battery, and we are There we go. You can see it landing there. It's a little bit further from the from the pad this time, but I think that kind of debunks the theory about it using more battery, because we're at just about 17 minutes there. And you know, I had time, I messed around getting the thing up in the air to begin with, and we're still have 22% battery. So they say that you get 21 minutes flight time, so that actually sounds about right. So anyway, this was kind of a fun test today. It kind of scared me there at the end when it started gaining altitude. I'm going, what the heck? Well, it was the drone doing what it's supposed to do. It went into return to home mode. And I must have just completely missed it on the screen. I'll have to go back and look and see, because I am doing a screen recording here. So anyway, I'll get this home and we'll put together a video. But here's my conclusions from this thing. I'll be honest with you, going right or left, raising or lowering seemed pretty negligible to me. What I noticed more was that as you accelerated either forward or in reverse, the drone drops in altitude. So, you know, I don't know if that's a flight control thing or an aerodynamic thing. You guys that are a lot smarter than me can probably speak to those issues. But then the other thing is, a couple of times there, and hopefully we were close enough to the camera that you could see it, we got a little gust of wind, and the drone went into that typical little bit of a toilet bowl movement, a little bit of a circular motion, and it was very subtle today because there's not much wind, but that's also something that this drone it does. So what I'm going to tell you is, honestly, this just isn't a quad that I would be flying in any winds that are any more significant than what we're seeing today, 4 or 5 miles an hour. If it's any more than that, I'll just be honest with you, I just probably wouldn't be flying this drone. But secondly, as far as the flight controls go, I think if you're close to the ground, you have to just be aware that when you're accelerating either direction, that it'll sink. You guys be the judge on those turns. Hopefully we got some good video with the GoPro too, and to me it just, while it may have done a little bit of sinking and rising, it didn't look to me like it was significant enough to make a difference. So what I'm gonna say is, this drone, like right now, I know for a fact Banggood has it on sale for under $300. $300 for a drone with this kind of capabilities, to me, is just a phenomenal value, and you just need to take into account some of the things that we saw here, and that is the fact that you know, the flight controls aren't as precise as on some other drones, but it does return to home well. It lands, its landing is pretty damn accurate for a drone without any kind of well, my camera just stopped recording there, so I hit it again, so hopefully we got everything here. But it's a drone that, even though it doesn't have some of the advanced sensors that you'll find on other more expensive products, it's still very flyable, and it's really a good camera drone. And yeah, I mean, I can recommend it as that. So let me add one more thing. So if you're somebody that really does not have much technical ability and you just want to get out and fly, you know what? Go buy a DJI Spark. It's a phenomenal drone. It's only 1080p, but man, those things, they have obviously the flight controls and everything. DJI just perfects everything, so they're fantastic. If you're somebody that has a little bit more technical ability and you want one of these drones with a 4K camera and that you can do some other things with, and a little more battery life. This has significantly more battery life than the Spark. So I would say that this would be, the Hubsan Zino would be a good option for you. Now I know there's some other drones out there. FIMI has the A2, I believe. It's getting pretty good reviews, but honestly I haven't messed with that, so I can't speak to it. I do have a FIMI X8 SE ordered. That one is a more expensive product. I actually used Dustin Dunhill's discount that he's got on his YouTube channel, and you get 75 bucks off on buying that FIMI X8 SE from Banggood. So I ordered one of those with Dustin Dunhill's discount. And so when that comes, we'll get that thing up in the air and put it through its paces. Although there's a lot of guys that have reviews out there right now, and you know, I think there's still some questions about that particular product. It's had some issues of its own, although it looks pretty promising to me. And that said, you know, for my channel, this is the first video I've made with my new channel name, Idaho Quadcopter. And we'll do some more flying. We'll get this Zino out some more. I think probably the next thing to do with this Zino, I hooked the Osmo Pocket up to it. What if I strap that GoPro Hero 7 on this thing and fly it around a little bit and see what it does? Well, you know, we just got a bunch of stuff we're going to try here. I've got that Fluidity, I can't remember the model number of their joystick controller. That when that shows up, we'll try that out with the DJI drones. That looks really interesting to me. I apologize if you're hearing noise here. They're doing some landscape work. So we got a lot of stuff coming up, and anyway, again, this is Marcus Crawford on the Idaho Quadcopter channel. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Hey, more than anything else, just thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.